Hello, I'm Jason High, and I am here to react to the Chiefs' 24-9 loss to the Denver Broncos here on the road in Denver today. Obviously, a very, very tough game for the Chiefs. They really struggled offensively throughout the game. A couple of key drops, I think, really hurt them. A couple that really stick out to me was an early one from Rashee Rice in the second half that would have been a large gain, and they ended up stalling on that drive. And then obviously very late there on the Chiefs' last real possession where they had a chance to win the game, potentially, or at least stay in the game. Sky Moore had a ball that go right through his hands on fourth down. It was a deeper throw. It was a maybe slightly more difficult catch than typical, but still a play that he should make, absolutely. Special teams today was overall pretty good early on, with Harrison Butker making 3 field goals, one a pretty clutch 56-yard field goal right before halftime. Harrison Butker is a beast. He still has not missed a kick this year. But obviously the big one, the backbreaker that hurt the Chiefs on special teams was, Mecole Hardman muffing the punt inside the 10-yard line there. And, just speaking as a kind of a fan of the Chiefs versus more of someone who's trying to analyze, you never really felt like the Chiefs were going to lose the game until that play. Now, maybe that was a little bit of built-in arrogance because the Chiefs, you just don't typically lose many games, period, but they definitely don't lose many games to the Broncos, having won 16 straight games coming into this one. But that was kind of the point where I really thought, okay, they may lose this game because they had made a lot of mistakes. They had some untimely penalties. Mahomes had a couple of turnovers that were pretty bad. But you still felt like, okay, they're down by 5. They're getting the ball back here. The defense has been playing well. The defense has kept the Broncos off the board. They had that awesome blocked field goal. So you kind of felt like the Chiefs still had a chance until that play. So I feel like overall the Chiefs really struggled today they got punched in the mouth by a team that was not going to just lay over, and they did not fight back. And the defense fought back as much as they could. I should correct myself. The defense, I believe, did enough to win the game today. The offense really just was too inconsistent. They did not sustain drives long enough. And then obviously you had that special teams gaffe by Mecole Hardman, and that really cost them. But yes, it was a rough game for the Chiefs overall. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't. So I'm going to talk more about the big picture stuff versus this actual game and breaking it down, because I don't really think it matters too much, if I'm being honest, to talk about what happened in this specific game. I don't think the Denver Broncos are going to the playoffs. This was not a game that cost the Chiefs the division or cost them a playoff spot or anything like that. The season is not over. This game actually kind of reminded me a little bit of that Tampa Bay Super Bowl. Not great protection for Mahomes, although it wasn't nearly as bad as that Super Bowl, that game. But the other team had a plan, and the Chiefs did not respond to it. And we kind of all kept expecting them to, until it really was just evident that, okay, they're not going to be able to overcome all of these mistakes. So the good news is unlike that game against Tampa Bay, this did not end your season. The season is not over. You still have a lot of games left. You have a big one coming up against Miami and Germany next weekend. That's going to be pretty exciting, just to see an NFL game in Germany. But yes, the Chiefs' season is not over, so there are bigger takeaways here, I think, for the season rather than just what the outcome of this particular game was. You can look at it and you can say the Chiefs just had a bad game. It was just one of those games. It was just any given Sunday. You can only make so many mistakes. This reminds me a little bit also of the Colts game last year, where I felt like the Chiefs could make 9 out of those 10 mistakes and still win the game, but they could not make 10 out of 10 mistakes. This game wasn't quite that bad. The Chiefs lost by multiple scores. People may not want to admit it, but that's one of the few times that Patrick Mahomes has lost a game by multiple scores. Doesn't happen very often. And it just happened to a 2-5 team coming into this that you had beat 16 times in a row. So there's a lot of things that don't really add up there if you're kind of just looking at it and saying what happened. So you could look at the game that way and just say it was just one of those. It was going to happen eventually. Patrick Mahomes had the flu. I don't know about you guys, but having the flu sucks. I've had it before, and I can't even imagine going and playing a game. But Patrick would tell you, and any athlete would tell you, they're not going to say that the flu affected them. They're going to say that they should have got it done. They were on the field, and Patrick, looked pretty good today for the most part. There just was a couple of plays that I felt like the rest of the team wasn't helping him out enough. But yes, I do feel like overall, that's one way you can look at it. The other way you can look at it is that this game is going to have repercussions for the rest of their season. And what do I mean by that? So certain things in the NFL are going to happen that are going to be fluky, right? Mecole Hardman, I don't think, is going to be muffing punts consistently. I don't think he's going to be consistently pinning our own offense inside the 10 whenever we're at a one-score game in the fourth quarter. I don't think that's going to be a consistent thing. I do wonder, though, about the Chiefs' wide receiving talent. I think that the Chiefs tonight kind of showed you that they're going to have a tough time really winning games with their wide receiving talent and their skill position players. Sky Moore has not developed like you would have liked at this point. Kadarius Toney has not developed like you'd want to, like you'd expect at this point, or like the Chiefs expected. And so they may make a trade. That's going to be all for tonight. I got to cut this one off. We're going to have a video again here reacting if the Chiefs make a significant trade at the deadline. And we're going to go kind of a little bit more in depth whether they should have or shouldn't have and how the rest of their season outlook is. But Chiefs are 6-2. They're still in first place. It's not the end of the season. It's not the end of the world. Bad loss. They got to play better than that. Thank you so much. Have a good one.